And I think we'll probably kick things off now and get started just so we don't waste any of your time today. And really, I'm excited today because we do have some awesome guests here that are going to be happy to join and help us with this conversation. Basically, today we're going to be talking about vacation rental accounting integrations and how to save time and money. And we're working with Ximplifi here today to go through some of the processes that they follow during the integration process with Hostfully. So we're really excited today to have Jesse on the call, Brooks on the call. As a brief introduction, my name is Corey, and I am going to be helping to kind of facilitate this call and doing a few of the slides myself. I'm a director of business development at Hostfully, and really my goals are to help educate people on our technology and help them with becoming successful in the property management space by leveraging technology of Hostfully to be able to increase their efficiencies within the property management group. I also have Brooks on the call today, and I'll kick it over to him so that he can introduce himself, and he'll introduce our guest as well.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brooks Sherman. I'm the head of strategic partnerships at Hostfully, which basically means I'm the point person with all of the companies that we have integrations with to make our property management platform as streamlined and as useful as possible. So joining us today from Ximplifi is the founder and CXO, Jesse Errett. Prior to founding Ximplifi, he was a CFO in the industry with a real estate investment and short-term rental company. And as for his background, he was a CPA he's a CPA with 10 years of experience. Some of those years spent at PricewaterhouseCoopers as well. So we are very happy to have him joining us. And before I toss it over to him, just a quick word about Ximplifi and Hostfully. Corey, I'm sorry, just wanted to see, will you be changing the slides or will I? Thank you.
Yep.
So about Hostfully. So Hostfully, as you can see from the slide, I'll try not to regurgitate it entirely. We're a complete end-to-end property management platform that's designed to help vacation and short-term rental property managers increase their bookings and boost their revenues. So we try to streamline the workflow, simplifying daily operational needs of a property manager's rental businesses, and assisting them in providing the best experience for their guests possible. And thus the integrations that I mentioned before, that is my bread and butter at the company, is a large part of that, working with various companies who are going to provide all these services to streamline or enhance your ability to provide options and services for your guests. In addition to that, we at Hostfully also have a digital guidebooks program, which is quite useful for our property managers, and even people who aren't using the Hostfully platform are able to use our digital guidebooks, which helps property managers create a very customized, personal, sort of bespoke experience for their guests, depending on the area and what sort of local interests, restaurants, entertainment you might want to emphasize there, in addition to general rules about the rental property itself. Now on to our partner here, Ximplifi. Ximplifi is a company that offers full service accounting, CFO advisory, consulting, and brand new technology solutions for short-term vacation rental property managers and short-term vacation rental companies. And I think with that, I will toss it over to Jesse, because I'm sure he can explain in depth, much better than I, just all of the various services that Ximplifi can provide for you. Jesse?
Yeah, thanks, Brooke. And real quick, am I able to take control of the slides?
I think I'll be able to do it. We're actually going to dive a little bit into the Hostfully products first before we jump into Ximplifi, just because it is an opportunity for you to learn a little bit more about our solutions. So Brooks gave a great overview of the different solutions that we provide. However, I just want to provide a little bit more context because this is what I talk about on a day-to-day basis. And so our guidebooks are actually a very great way to provide a guest experience element to your property management. What they provide you with is a way to personalize the guest experience by providing with the guests with recommendations on what to do during their stay and also where to go. It comes with a suite of different things that you can bring into the guidebooks, meaning that you can actually do upsells through the guidebooks if you provide services, maybe like a late check-in or an early check-in or a late checkout. I also hear frequently of people being, maybe on a golf course and providing access to their golf cart and being able to pay for that directly through the guidebooks. So these marketplace upsells are a way that you can leverage our tools to actually make a little bit more money and revenue for your property management platform. Additional to that, we have a really great direct integration with a company called Viator that brings in sponsored tours that you can sell through our platform. And if you sell them, you get an 8% commission on that. Beyond that, there's also all your instructions for how to check in and how to be able to get access to the property. And it's directly integrated with our property management platform so that you can send over the key codes and all that kind of stuff to really facilitate the experience of the guest and make it very easy on them. And it also answers a lot of their frequently asked questions. Lastly, it's really great to be able to personalize and tell your guests exactly why you love the location where they're coming and give them recommendations on where to go, what to do, how to eat, or how to, shop in the area and all that kind of fun stuff. So definitely check out our guidebooks if you're looking for a guest experience element to your property management platform. Beyond that, we also have the property management platform, which I've mentioned probably 5 times in the last five seconds. But with that, it's basically the administrative side of the business. So this is where you're going to be doing a lot of your administrative functionality, managing your bookings from beginning to end through a unified pipeline view that actually can show you at any given time where that booking is and what you need to do to proceed it to that completion state where they're just ready to arrive and ready to visit your property. Additionally, there's a centralized calendar, centralized inbox, property management syncing so that you can sync from our channel from our property management platform into all the different channels, and you only have to update listings in one place. And also some enhanced reporting functionality that really makes you in control of your reporting because you can customize and configure your reporting to meet the needs of whatever you're trying to derive data for and making those business decisions. So definitely also check out our property management platform. The two of them combined create a really great tool for both the back of the house stuff from the administrative and actually facilitating the bookings all the way through to the guest experience element. Another key thing that we're going to talk about prior to jumping into the Ximplifi conversation is that we're actually the only company in North America that we know of that is a preferred partner with Airbnb, Booking.com, and Vrbo. These are all the 3 biggest players in our market. And so we're really proud of the fact that we are a preferred partner with each of them. It's really a testament towards our customer success and also our integration capabilities because we need to hit the standards of what they promote to different property management and channel management solutions in order to be given this preferred partner status. So we're really excited to be the only platform in the space with all 3 of these partnerships. And I think with that, we actually did have a few questions that were popping up in the question box. And so basically one of the questions that I see here is the PMP and guidebooks fully integrated for sharing booking information like keyless codes and check-in time? And so absolutely, we're fully integrated with our own platform. The guidebooks are actually only fully integrated with our own platform. They can be purchased as a standalone product, but in order to get the full efficiencies, it is great to use the 2 together. And then the other question that we had was, how can we learn more about these products? And so the answer to that will be, we will follow up after this call with each of the people that attended and each of the people that registered, and we'll be able to schedule demos directly with many of the team members that we have over here in order to help you answer get the questions answered that you have and see a full demo personalized for your property management business at your earliest convenience. So feel free to reach out for that. And with that, now we're going to kick it over to Jesse, and he's going to take control of the rest of the content here, and he's going to help teach you how to save time and money by streamlining your accounting integrations.
Great. Well, thanks, Corey. Thank you, Brooks. That was a great summary of your product and First, thank you for inviting me to be part of this conversation. Teaming up with award-winning property management platforms such as Hostfully and their product is really what we look to do. We don't integrate and work with all property management platforms out there, and working together with an award-winning system like Hostfully has been great, and we look forward to our partnership continuing to grow. So thanks again for that. But to jump into Ximplifi and who we are and what we do, first and foremost, as Brooks said, I started as a CFO. Spent many years in public accounting, but then became a CFO in the industry, and quickly learned how challenging being the owner or working in accounting and finance and for a small business is hard enough. You add on top of that the demands of owners and guests in the short-term rental industry, as well as the fiduciary responsibility that comes with that role in our industry. And you can have some sleepless nights. You can spend a lot of hours worrying about different things. And so first and foremost, we started to Ximplifi with the hope that we would improve our clients' lives, help them sleep better at night. But then obviously we want to help them achieve greater financial success, because certainly we get into business. Why do we take on the stress of being an entrepreneur? Well, it's to achieve greater financial success. And so that's what we want to do, is help you achieve those goals. And the way we do that is through leveraging technology. We don't want to just be the people that are doing the work. We want to leverage technology to make what we do or what you do as seamless as possible, using technology as the best we can, and then layer on top of that our exceptional managed accounting and financial advisory services. There we go. So if we talk about our 3 pillars of services that we provide, really everybody starts with VR Consult. What do those services look like? Well, we're going to come in, we're going to take a look at your business model, take a look at the technology that you're currently using. For instance, are you using Hostfully as your property management platform? And then we're going to talk about how do we use various different technologies and integrations to optimize both your technology, your setup, streamline processes, and build integrations to optimize your technology for success. In addition to that, we're going to take a look at, hey, what accounting platform are you using? What's the right accounting system for you and your business? Maybe that's a QuickBooks environment that you might be using, or maybe it's using a more sophisticated system like Sage Intacct that I'll talk about later. Second, a big piece of us and what we've built is VRPlatform. VRPlatform is our integration technology where we connect, obviously, with great PMPs like Hostfully, integrate with merchant processors such as Stripe, and push that data into your accounting system of choice to automate those tedious accounting tasks, as well as provide an owner portal where you can customize your owner statements, publish and pay your owners using that owner statement platform with the data that's reconciled within your accounting system. Finally, about 80% of the folks that come to us, and even some that they start off with technology, using our technology and our consulting services, they say, well, you have a team that's really figured this out. This is really stressful. I don't have an accounting background, and going and finding somebody that understands the needs of this industry is really hard. Why don't you take this on for us? And so what we often do is we come in and everything, I call it soup to nuts. We do everything from dealing with AR guest invoices, payments, bank reconciliations, credit card reconciliations, coding credit card transactions, obviously with the help of our clients, producing financial reporting for your PMC. We want you to know how much money you're making, and then obviously preparing those owner statements, getting your owners paid, and making sure that money comes in for them is accurately reconciled and paid back out to your owners, because they're what drive, obviously, our business as well as our guests. So what are we going to talk about? Obviously, we're going to talk about the power of accounting integrations and our approach to that and why it's so important. Some of the challenges that I'm sure most people are encountering in the accounting for short-term rentals, as well as, hey, how do we make those processes and the reporting better and more efficient? Talk about a little bit of our owner portal, which is very new. Actually, we've just launched that, so we're real excited for that tool, and then take any questions and hopefully provide you some good answers.
Yeah, and with that, we actually did have a question that came in, Jesse. The question is, if they're current clients of Hostfully, and this might be something you get to in the future of the conversation, but if they are current clients of Hostfully and they were looking to work with Ximplifi, what would be the kind of the best process of going about doing that? Would it be engaging directly with you, or would it be engaging with their Hostfully rep? Maybe you can give a little insight to that.
Yeah, well, certainly we talk constantly with folks at Hostfully. So if they have a good relationship with their rep at Hostfully, they can obviously make an introduction. They can also very easily go to our website, ximplifi.com. In our chat box, you can chat with one of our great sales ladies, or there's several forms that they can fill out there. But I would say that chat box or working directly with Hostfully rep to make an introduction will be the best way. You can even just email me at jesse@ximplifi.com, and I'll make sure that you get to the right person. But either way, we'll also be reaching out, as you will, to everybody, for anybody that's interested in our services or technology.
Awesome. Thanks.
So first, why accounting integrations? Well, first and foremost, integrations in general drive what we call the best-in-class approach to managing your technology. If we think about it, most folks have a number of different technology tools that they use, be it accounting or finance or non-accounting and finance. So obviously your property management system, you might use something like Breezeway or Properly for managing cleaning tasks and maintenance tasks, billable expenses to your owner. You might have payroll, for example, different pricing tools that are also obviously integrated, all the integrations that Hostfully has with all the different platforms. And so we take a best-in-class approach to accounting in the same way that we do with all other integrations, because it allows us to integrate into the award-winning property management platform that you know and love, such as Hostfully, and integrate that into the back end to award-winning or easy to use accounting systems such as QuickBooks, Xero, Sage Intacct, etc. But it allows you to find the right systems that fit your business the best, and then integrate those systems to produce a best-in-class ecosystem for your technology. And certainly, having accounting integrations decreases significantly the risk for error. So, we know a lot of folks that might be using Hostfully and maybe they're using some sort of, Excel spreadsheets or Google Sheets to produce owner statements. They can end up being very tedious, trying to pull information from a lot of different places to pull everything together manually, which obviously leads to error, a very cumbersome process. And so using accounting integrations, we can automate a lot of the process, reduce errors, and speed up the end of month cycle to produce those owner statements, get them paid, as well as produce accurate financial statements for you, the property management company.
Awesome. That's great. And actually a few questions came in as you kind of went through that. And so maybe I'll ask a couple of them. All the questions that we get, we're probably going to summarize afterwards and send it out with some information. So we'll make sure that if the questions don't get answered, we'll definitely we'll get the answers to you. But one of the questions that I had come up was, which you talked a lot about integrations with, you mentioned a few different accounting softwares. Now I'm wondering, what are the kind of prime ones that you like to integrate with? Is there a limit to the types of softwares you integrate with, or do you approach it on more of a custom basis sometimes? That's the question basically is asking which accounting softwares that you currently integrate with.
Well, currently we have a running integration with Hostfully and QuickBooks. We also integrate with Sage Intacct, being a bit more of a robust accounting platform. Typically is going to support either your more enterprise-sized property management companies or management companies with a bit more complex entity structure. Maybe they've got a lot of different entities and companies going on. So those are the two systems that we primarily work with. We have some integrations built with Xero as well. In the US, we just we haven't completed, I guess, rolling that out really because of lack of demand. We really don't see Xero used as much, but certainly that's one that we could do as well. But if I was to look at those three from an accounting system standpoint, those three really should meet the needs of most small business owners. Xero and QuickBooks are very, easy to use, focused on small businesses, and then Sage Intacct, which is a big step up, but still the value and the ability, which I'll get into why Sage Intacct versus QuickBooks a little bit later. But it's just a more sophisticated system to support those more enterprise size companies or complex entity structures.
Awesome. And then the other question that we had was just around automation versus integrations. So, or automation and integrations versus hiring like a CPA directly. And so I'm just kind of curious if you have any insight on like, if there's a way to get is it best to do these kind of together where you have a CPA that you work with, but then you also work with technology to automate a lot of it? Or is there a world where you can use just technology to basically automate most of the functionality and then go to your CPA for just filings and stuff like that? I'm curious to get your insight on that.
Yeah, well, automation doesn't mean hands off, right? I mean, I think we all hear about the Tesla, auto driving, but they all say stay awake and be alert, kind of thing. And in many ways, that's how I look at accounting integrations. Look, there's a ton of data going on here. There's a ton of things to understand from an accounting standpoint. I myself have 5 years of accounting education, as well as 15 years plus in accounting before I started Ximplifi, and then 4 to 5 years figuring out the spider web that is trust accounting for vacation rentals. So I think the biggest thing that I see is folks will come in and they downplay the complexity and how much is going on and how much they need to know. And so we're going to be able to provide the technology to largely automate, most of those transactions, but you really have to have a basic understanding of accounting, of trust accounting, et cetera. I don't, not everybody that works for us are CPAs. So really there's probably only 3 or 4 of us that are CPAs, but certainly working with someone that is a knowledgeable accountant that knows how to manage the data, see where things might be off, or you have to, make some adjustment, is real important. So, I guess that's how I would take it, right? Accounting integrations and automations are going to take you really far, but it's only going to take you so far. You gotta still have your hands on the steering wheel.
Awesome. That's a great answer. Thank you very much.
Or maybe not on the steering wheel, but right. Tesla, you don't have to have your hands on the steering wheel. You just got to be alert.
So. Yeah. Awesome. I jumped to the next slide there for you. So we'll stop with questions for now. There's lots of them, but we can get back to some at the end, maybe, or a little later on.
Sounds great. Well, let's get into the challenges, right? Look, I just talked about it. Accounting for trust accounting, just accounting in general for property management companies and short-term rentals. It's a huge fiduciary responsibility. You're bringing in money. Oftentimes, your large operators are bringing in millions of dollars every year, and you're tracking and holding that money on behalf of others, be it in advanced deposits or allocated rent that's not yet paid out to them. outside vendors that you might be paying, sales tax liabilities, which become more complex every day, especially if you're operating in different jurisdictions. And then you've got to track, hey, what's the money that comes back to me? So we have a lot going on, and so tracking all of that money and where it all needs to go is a big responsibility, and is a high volume of transactions. There we go. And then, the second piece of that puzzle is that we've got a lot of different systems that we talked about. Again, we talked about that best-in-class approach. So we've got our property management platform, Hostfully. We have our accounting system. Perhaps you might not be using Hostfully today, and you're doing trust accounting over in an trust accounting system within your PMS. But now I've got to transfer data between my accounting system for my property management company with my trust accounting system that is within my PMS. Okay, now I've got a lot of data that I've got to transfer in multiple places. I've got money coming from Stripe. I got money coming from Airbnb. I got channel commissions and expenses coming from VRBO, Airbnb, Booking.com, et cetera, that maybe I want to deduct from my owner. Maybe I want to deduct that before or after I calculate commissions, right? There's just a million different ways that accounting for the trust accounting for vacation rentals can get overwhelming really quickly, and obviously begins to slow down your reporting as well as your owner statement process. And I just talked about it, a while ago. When we talk about the high frequency of transactions, most homes are going to be turning, 3, 4, maybe even more times a month, especially in busy season, as well as all your different, charges from supplies, repairs, maintenance, billable labor, et cetera. And then all the tedious things that come with that, the channel commissions that I just talked about, calculating the management commission. So now we have all these high volume of transactions, and we're not just producing one P&L, right? We might be creating 10, 25, 50, or hundreds of owner statements, which is essentially hundreds of profit and loss statements for your owners. And so, really that high frequency and then that demand for accuracy and consistency from your owners, as well as, probably transparency, really becomes a big challenge for short-term rental managers. So I alluded to this just a bit ago, but hey, why don't do trust accounting within a property management system? So without naming any of my least favorite property management platforms out in the world with trust accounting within their system, let me just say that when I first started Ximplifi, I had a lot of folks come to me, and I'll refer to them as the legacy platforms that had trust accounting within the accounting system. And actually, one of them we used when I was a CFO at the real estate investment and short-term rental company I worked at. So what we found is people came to us with huge messes. They came to us with, they didn't understand it. Their accounting was a disaster. They wanted us to clean it up, and then they wanted us to continue working with it. Well, what we found is that it was nearly impossible to clean up, and it was nearly impossible to continue working with it. And so we said, man, there's just got to be a better way. There are great forward, technology leading platforms such as Hostfully out there with great open APIs, great data that we can integrate with and plug into best-in-class accounting systems and use these tried and true accounting systems to drive the trust accounting for the owner statements, instead of trying to figure out what in the world is going on with these, I'll call them dinosaur property management systems, certainly from an accounting standpoint. And so we said, hey, that's going to be the approach that we take, because A, we have a lot more control around it, and B, we know and we trust QuickBooks or Sage Intacct and those accounting systems that all they do is accounting, and they've been tested and they're flexible and they connect and play well with others, meaning, hey, I can automate my AP, or I can connect to Expensify, or I can connect to payroll, or I can connect to Breezeway, as well as Hostfully, obviously. And now, bringing all those together into one true source of or one source of truth to drive the accounting for my owners and me as a property management company is a much better way. And so I get on my soapbox here a lot and preach, hey, why have we taken the approach and kind of blazing this trail that we do? And really that's why, is because we struggled like everybody else. And I have a ton of experience in accounting, and we struggled with those legacy systems. We thought, hey, there's got to be a better way. And so that's how, we really founded VRPlatform and started working with companies like Hostfully to integrate, and automate the accounting processes.
Awesome. Thanks, Jesse. A question that actually just came in, I thought was somewhat relevant, given I was looking through the poll responses, and there was lots of different differentiation between how big the property management groups are on the call. So like whether they're between 11 to 50 properties or above 50 properties. And so a question that came up actually was, when's the right time to engage? Like, is it worth getting an accounting system and an integration with somebody like Ximplifi and these different providers when you're a small?
I'll stop you real quick.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about starting a vacation rental company, get your accounting and finances and systems in place. Get your property management system in place. Understand how you're gonna manage your accounting. If you're thinking about it, and the reason why I bring that up and I speak so strongly about it is because the number of disasters that come to us with people that only have 5-10 properties, or people that have lost thousands of dollars because they didn't quite know what they were doing and how they were paying out, or they've lost, countless numbers of hours. Don't underestimate the responsibility, B, the complexity, and C, how much you need to automate this. Maybe if you just, hey, you're just one of those people that's doing 2 to 3 properties and dealing with one channel or maybe 2 channels, maybe you can do that, in a spreadsheet, but I wouldn't go much farther than that.
Sounds good. Great. Thanks.
So, getting back to our philosophy, I think I walked through it just a little while ago, but really, hey, our goal is that we're going to integrate all of your different applications, including your property management platform, including your merchant processors, including all of your other business applications that you might be using. Plug that into your accounting system so that we have one single source of truth for all of your data to drive both your property management company reporting and your owner statements. So certainly, that's our approach and what we're preaching about today. So just to talk a little bit, get a little granular with, what happens with our integration with Hostfully. What happens when somebody books a stay within Hostfully, right? So we're going to bring over, all the data that customer effectively is created within the accounting system. Within, we use custom fields to capture things like confirmation date, arrival, departure date. What channel are they coming from? So, reporting and understanding the revenue by channel becomes very important for sales tax purposes and a lot of different other reasons. And so we want to make sure that we're capturing that, as well as, now we're going to create that itemized guest invoice that's going to capture, not only, hey, what's my payout, but what's my accommodation fare, what's my cleaning, what's my taxes, any other guest fees, et cetera, so that each and every line is coded to the right account, but then also, passed through to the right entity. And what I mean by entity is, do cleaning fees go to you as the PMC, or do they go to the owner? Taxes, obviously, probably you're keeping those and paying those on behalf of your owners. Maybe you're paying them out. You can see both ways, but hey, we want you to have the flexibility to tell the system, hey, when we have a reservation from Hostfully, how are we going to handle all the details within that guest invoice? Obviously, next that guest pays. That payment is then is also recorded, applied against the invoice, recorded as an advance deposit, assuming that it is an advance deposit, depending on when you receive it. and then applied to the invoice upon checkout. We also we actually get the Airbnb payout data, as well as we work with several merchant processors to post batch deposits from the merchant processor. And again, why we do that is because payments are posted into an undeposited or clearing accounts, and then those deposits from Airbnb or your merchant processor are also posted into that clearing account. And now we can reconcile one for one your payments that are recorded against the invoice with the payouts from Airbnb and the Stripe processor. And I can't tell you how many times I hear, Jesse, Airbnb, they'd never short my money, or I can't believe that Booking.com or anybody or Stripe isn't paying out the right amounts. I've seen many times where people aren't reconciling Airbnb, and you know what? A couple months ago, they got an email from Airbnb saying their tax identification number's wrong. Well, they hadn't looked at their payouts from Airbnb in several months, and before you knew it, north of $100,000 had been withheld and passed over to the IRS. And so, we've finally helped them recover it. But we're talking about $150,000 that needed to be recovered from the IRS because Airbnb started withholding their payments. And when they first came on with us, they hadn't been reconciling those Airbnb payments. We started doing that right away, and boom, all of a sudden we found these large amounts. Also, small fees, reconciling, cancellations, refunds, disputes, reserves. Perhaps if Stripe starts making reserves, kind of same way Airbnb was doing in the example I just gave. So all those different things are why we really reconcile each and every payment to the payout from the processor. Certainly, cancellations and refunds are a challenge. So we've built logic to handle those actually by channel. How you want to handle that with an Airbnb reservation when you pay out afterwards is a little bit different than a reservation that you might have an advance deposit on. So that's how granular we go to when we think about handling all that. I also don't have on here posting management commission. So we have various tools to calculate and post the management commission as obviously revenue to the PMC and expense to the owner to go on that owner statement. But then all of this certainly flows to the end product that we're all looking for, which is a much more automated owner statement prep with the right fees withheld, the reconciled information that's easy to publish and easy to get to your owners and automatically pay them via ACH. And so, ultimately that's the process, and in a little bit more granular form that hopefully gives you insight into how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that gives me a ton of insight. I mean, I've been with Hostfully for around 6 months, but I know the end goal, which is to find the connection with an accounting system and to reconcile it in those systems. Because as many people on this call would know, Hostfully is API centric. So we're not necessarily looking to build the best accounting software for property management companies. We build property management platforms and guest experience platforms for your business. And then we integrate with the best in class. And so it's really interesting to see the steps that go through once they come to you and they actually get to that end goal. So I really appreciate, that breakdown. Now, a question that came in was essentially like, how long does this take? Like, what is an onboarding with Ximplifi look like, and how long would that kind of process look?
Yeah. Typically we're looking from the time somebody signs a contract with us, we're usually looking at about 6 to 8 weeks to get them onboarded. It depends on a couple of things. How big are they? Do they have some complexities that we need to consider? Certainly it also matters, where are we at in our pipeline, right? We, have to manage, we want to make sure that we're providing, A+ service. So we have to manage and stagger those onboardings, but typically 6 to 8 weeks is what onboarding looks like. And that's pretty much the same whether or not you're doing technology or accounting services. And the reason why is, accounting services, we've got to get our team ready and prepared to take on your account. And then if you're doing it yourself, well, we're going to spend a lot of time in training you and giving you the resources to make sure that you're successful after you go live. Not just, hey, here's how you configure things, good luck. There's certainly a level of education that goes into understanding the entire process, our approach to everything. So anyway, that's 6 to 8 weeks is about what you're looking at.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
So this is a bit of a mock-up, actually, that we put together. We actually launched it, and didn't quite have time to put the new view on it. But I think this does a really good job of depicting pretty much what it looks like, which is you can see the revenue, the expenses, the adjustments. We really think of that top section of the owner statement being owner net revenue. And just to understand, what we're doing here is that we are, data has came in. We went through the entire process of getting all of that data into, say, QuickBooks or Sage Intacct. We obviously also have a lot of other things that are going on, such as bills that you're paying out of maybe Bill.com, or expenses that are flowing through your bank account or your credit card that are going to be tagged and accounted for down to the owner or that particular property. And so we're going to take all that reconciled data, and it's going to be pulled back into our owner statement view, our owner portal. And here, one of the biggest things that we hear from a lot of people that they might use owner statements from those legacy systems I spoke so fondly about earlier. But the biggest complaint that we have there is that they're not flexible. They don't have a lot of control over how it looks. How do you group certain things? How much transparency do you show or not show within your owner statement? So we've built this in a way that you can add, especially in the I'll call it the owner net revenue section. You can add a lot of different columns that can be added in subtracting columns, or group accounts in a different way. Just as a really easy example, you might show rent revenue, accommodation fare, net of Airbnb host fees, right? Well, you might not really want to show the owner of the Airbnb host fee because that just makes a lot of noise on the statement. So, if you've got $100 or $1,000 reservation and $100 host fee, you really only want to show them $900. So we're going to give you the ability to say, hey, rental income, that includes accommodation fare less my host fee. And so it's just going to show, obviously, just that $900. So that's just one example. We have other folks that'll add in, maybe they are showing the cleaning fees or passing in the cleaning fees from a revenue perspective. So you can add that as a column, pass that on to the owner. Maybe you deduct a per reservation supplies fee. And so, that too can be added as a column and then subtracted to get to your net owner revenue. And then down below is typically where you'd show your various, property or property management expenses, such as supplies, repairs, maintenance, et cetera. Again, there's no need to, manually create a work order from within the portal to get that in there. This is data pulling right from QuickBooks, right where you originally recorded that expense, but coded it to that particular property. And so, another way to really streamline the accounting and owner statement preparation, not needing to transfer data from an accounting system into a property management platform or owner statement portal. It's just integrated and then produced. Once you publish it, a bill is created to pay out that owner via ACH.
Awesome.
So, beyond our own technology that I just went through with being VRPlatform, certainly taking a look at Sage Intacct, which I've alluded to earlier as a solution, and why we highlight it so much is, when I was a CFO at Cuvée, the real estate investment company, I was tasked with finding, they had about 14 different entities, fairly complex, close to a $10 million a year business from a top line revenue standpoint. And, I was tasked with finding the right solution to bring what was really a pretty complex accounting and finance or entity structure to bring some simplicity and some better reporting and tools. And so I settled on Sage Intacct, and quickly what I learned is Sage Intacct is a multi-entity environment. So B, it allows us to segregate very clearly trust accounting and operations accounting to give very robust and clear trust accounting and reporting. Sage Intacct is it's an award-winning, just like Hostfully, it's an award-winning financial management solution, especially for the small to medium-sized business industry. It has a strong footprint in the hospitality industry. So we have a lot of companies that they might be running, hotels, restaurants, as well as short-term rentals. They might also be getting into real estate investment and construction. And so Sage Intacct is just a powerful solution that can support all of those different unique businesses in one confined environment that produces, and beyond that, it has different dimensions and custom reporting to provide great real-time insight to business owners, either across their entities, or consolidated. And then also for a lot of our our enterprise property managers, not only do we have all that financial data, but we can bring in statistical data, number of nights stayed, nights available for rent, which then allows us to calculate things like ADR, number of properties managed. Now we can start to understand RevPAR, occupancy, ADR, et cetera. And now again, we even more have that one true source of data to drive business decisions and have better visibility into how your business works. And I want to say one other thing there, in that I had the privilege of being at the VRMA conference, executive conference, several weeks ago, and I was on a panel with the CFO of Sykes, which, if you're not familiar with Sykes, is one of the largest property management companies in the world, and as well as the CFO of VTrips. And one of the things that they really talked about was not only having owner statements, that you produce obviously on a per unit basis, but understanding your financial metrics for your PMC on a per unit basis. And Sage Intacct, because of the dimensions and the ability to tag, create custom reporting, different charts and graphs, really begin to allow companies that value real good insight and understanding the profitability at the unit level of their properties to make decisions on, hey, do I keep this property? Do I get rid of them? What's my break-even point from a revenue standpoint for my properties? It's just a very, very robust platform as folks are looking or continuing to grow. Why Ximplifi? Why not Ximplifi? No, I mean, hopefully we've provided a lot of reasons why you'd work with us. I think the thing that I'm most proud of is the fact that this is the only industry we work in. We've got a few legacy clients that are in other industries, but we have close to 100 clients that are all in this industry. Every day we look to solve the problems that you all have, and we're looking to make it easier for you, and we're looking to make it easier for us. And so and again, we only want to help you achieve your goals, your financial goals, and perhaps exceed them, certainly from a financial standpoint. And like I said earlier, help you sleep better at night. Our very first client, that's the one thing she told. She's in South Carolina. She worried all day, all the time. She'd lose sleep that someday this South Carolina Real Estate Commission was going to come in and audit her, and things were going to be a mess. And she started working with us, and guess what? A couple months later, that Real Estate Commission came in. We walked right through the audit, no flags, no nothing. It was pretty much a breeze, and she sleeps a lot better at night, and that's something we're really proud of. So hopefully, because of our experience, because of our technology solutions that we've developed, that you choose to work with us. And so, I guess I'll just summarize and wrap everything up here. But we hope we can help you overcome all those challenges that we talked about today, using a best-in-class approach, connect all of your different systems, streamline your trust accounting, and make your understatements a lot easier using our platform and our integration with a back-end accounting system. So, and we're excited to do that with Hostfully clients, or if you're not a Hostfully client, we certainly hope that you choose them, and we can work together to provide a best-in-class approach to managing your short-term rental business.
Awesome. I guess we're just going to leave you with that thought there, because I think it's a pretty interesting thought in general. Vacation rental accounting isn't easy, and so let us work with you to help you get it right. I mean, we have strong partnerships already with clients, and we're always looking to take on more. So definitely reach out if you have any questions and stuff like that. We will open the floor up now, kind of 2 questions. I'm not sure, Jesse, did you want to say anything else on this slide, or I'll let you kind of finish it off for the content, and then we'll get to whatever questions we do have left.
No, I think hopefully
You're
people
good?
are tired of me talking. I'll answer questions. I want to hear from the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So one question that came in, and you're the expert here, so definitely the person to answer it would be, where can you find out more information about local tax regulations for short-term rentals?
It's not easy. Look, I'll tell you what we did. I figured out a long time ago I had to do one of 2 things. I either had to hire a full-time sales and use tax person that was going to figure out every client as they came on and figure out what in the world was going on, and because it's very complex, and not only is it complex, it's different from channel to channel, and you go a couple miles down the road and it might be different because you're not in the city jurisdiction, you're just in the county, right? Do not take that responsibility lightly. The business registrations and everything are take a lot. We as a company work very closely with My Lodge Tax by Avalara. So really, any company that wants us to manage their sales tax and their sales tax, lodging tax compliance has to work with Avalara, who does a great job of doing the research, making sure that the right registrations are in place, that the right licenses are in place, and that the right tax rates are being collected and paid. So that's where we go. It's a great resource. They actually have a rate lookup tool. Other than that, certainly just going to the local jurisdictions of wherever you're operating to look it up. Almost every local jurisdiction today has specific language around what's needed to operate as a short-term rental company. So that's really where you should be going.
Awesome. And just the other question that came up is, I'm new to this, and really I'm doing demos. I'm in the research phase, and I'm really trying to go to websites, and most of them seem to be promising a lot of the same stuff. So what are 2 to 3 core features of good accounting software for short-term rentals? And what should I be asking my demos when I'm looking at different accounting softwares, and in terms of looking into into using an accounting software for short-term rentals?
Yeah, well, again, our approach, obviously, I'm certainly biased. I don't think property management platforms have any business doing trust accounting. I just think they're rigid. I think they're hard to use, and you end up having data in 2 places. And I think I just went through all the reasons we don't take that approach. So for me, what I would be thinking is, okay, well, probably if I'm just getting started, QuickBooks is probably my best solution. I mean, it just is. The automation, the reporting, the ease of use. I mean, certainly there's a level of accounting understanding and background that you need to use it, but it's a very good tool, and when set up appropriately, can certainly support your short-term rental business. And then the second piece is, hey, what property management system do I use, right? And so then the property management system question, we just always ask the question, why in the world would you pick a property management system because of its accounting platform, right? Like that sounds like so backwards. Like
Right.
the reason you pick a property management platform is because it's going to help you drive sales and marketing and streamline your operations. Accounting's no reason to choose your property management system. So, isolate that to make the decision of what is the right property management platform. Certainly, from that point, it's a lot of what integrations does it have, and does it have an integration back into the accounting system that you're going to use. And if you're just starting out, I'd have a hard time saying why QuickBooks wouldn't be the right answer for you, especially here in the US.
Awesome. Well, I think that's most of the questions answered. I mean, we'll go through and definitely make sure that we got all of them answered and create a spreadsheet of all the questions that were answered and kind of get them out to people as well. But, thanks very much, Jesse, for joining and shedding some light into the integration we have with you, but also the accounting world in general. I mean, it was a lot of information. It was all really great to hear. I thank everyone for attending as well. I mean, it's great to see the numbers. It's a lot of people stayed right to the end as well, which is always like a good sign that they're enjoying the content. And if you have more questions, you can always reach out directly from one of the emails that you're going to get afterwards. You'll get one from us, you'll get one from Ximplifi, and you can feel free to book demos with either of us. I mean, we're always happy to talk about this stuff. It's what we do on a day-to-day basis. And so I just really appreciate everyone joining today. I'm not sure, Brooks or Jesse, do you have any final words that you want to kind of allude to before we end the call?
I don't think I do. I appreciate everybody listening.
Awesome.
Yes, likewise. I defer to the experts on this particular webinar.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining. And we'll be in contact, or you can reach out before. I mean, you can go to one of our websites, fill out a contact form, and get in contact with somebody on the sales team. So thank you very much, and have a great rest of your day.